Technology. What are the differences between the technology of the past and that of today? I think the biggest difference is that technology today is much smarter and more integrated into our daily lives. In the past, most devices were designed to perform just one specific task, whereas a smartphone today can replace a camera, a music player, and even a television, which would have been unimaginable 20 years ago. What technology do young people like to use? Smartphones, without a doubt. They have so many functions that young people may use them from the moment they wake up until they go to bed. They've become such an essential part of daily life that most people would struggle without them. What are the differences between online and face-to-face communication? I'd say online communication is more convenient, but face-to-face communication is much better for building relationships. When you meet someone in person, you're more likely to give them your full attention, so the conversation feels much more natural and engaging. Do you think technology has changed the way people communicate? Absolutely. Technology has made communication much faster and more convenient than ever before. Today, people can instantly send messages, make video calls, or share photos with someone on the other side of the world. What negative effects does technology have on people's relationships? I think technology becomes a problem when people pay more attention to their screens than the people around them. It's quite common to see friends or even families sitting together, but everyone is looking at their own phone. Over time, that can make conversations feel much less meaningful. What are the differences between making friends in real life and online? I think it's easier to meet people online, but it's usually easier to build trust in real life. When you spend time with someone in person, you naturally learn more about their personality and values. Online friendships might take longer to develop that same level of trust because people can hide behind a screen pretending to be someone they are not.
Computer/mobile applications. 1. What are the differences between old and young people when using apps? I'd say young people use apps much more naturally. If there's an app that can save them time or make life easier, they'll probably give it a try. Older people are often a bit more selective and usually only use apps that they find easy to understand and to use. 2. Why do some people not like using apps? I'd say there are two main reasons. Some people simply find apps too confusing and struggle learning how to use them. Others are more concerned about privacy and don't like giving apps access to their personal data. That's why they're often happier sticking with more traditional ways of doing things. 3. What apps are popular in your country? Why? I think messaging apps are probably the most widely used, followed by shopping and food delivery apps. They're useful in everyday life, so people naturally open them several times a day without even thinking about it. 4. Should parents limit their children's use of computer programs and computer games? Why? And how? Yes, I think they should, but I don't think banning them completely is the answer. Computer games and educational programs can be beneficial if children use them in moderation. Instead of taking devices away, parents should set reasonable screen time limits and encourage their children to spend time on other activities like sports or reading. 5. Do you think young people are more and more reliant on these programs? Definitely. One thing I've noticed is that many young people automatically reach for their phones whenever they have a question or need to get something done. It's become such a habit that they rarely stop to think if there's another way to do it. Toys and things. 1. Why do all children like toys? I think it's because toys make learning fun. Children don't really realize they're learning. They're just playing, building things, making up stories, or figuring things out as they go. That's probably why they can stay interested for such a long time. 2. Do you think it is good for a child to always take his or her favorite toy with them all the time? I'd say it depends on the situation. If a child is traveling or doing something completely new, bringing a favorite toy can help them settle in more quickly. But if it becomes a daily habit, they might start relying on the toy instead of building confidence on their own. 3. Why are children attracted to new things, such as electronics? I think children are naturally curious, so they're always excited by anything new. Electronic devices are especially appealing because they're colorful, interactive, and provide instant entertainment. It's simply much easier to hold a child's attention than traditional toys. 4. Why do some grown-ups hate to throw out old things, such as clothes? I think it's often because those things carry sentimental value. An old t-shirt or a worn-out jacket may remind someone of a particular stage of life or a special person. Even if they no longer use it, they still find it difficult to let it go. 5. Is the way people buy things affected? How? Definitely. I think the biggest change is that people do a lot more research before buying something. Instead of walking into a store and making a decision, they usually compare prices, read reviews, and watch videos online first. That makes shopping much more convenient, but it can also make people overthink even simple purchases. 6. What do you think influences people to buy new things? I think there are two main factors: necessity and marketing. Sometimes people genuinely need to replace something that's old or broken, but quite often they're influenced by advertisements or social media. If everyone seems to be buying the same product, it's easy to feel like you should have it too.